What we are seeing is a public fight inside the ruling party, APC, involving a man who is not formally a member of the party, yet sits at the heart of federal power, Wike, and the constitutional authority of the All Progressive Congress, represented by its National Secretary, Ajibola Bashiru. And when a ruling party begins to fight itself openly like this, it is never a small story. To understand this crisis, we must establish the contradiction at the center of it. Wike, former PDP governor, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, public supporter of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not a registered member of APC. Yet, Wike has remained one of the most influential political actors in Rivers State, openly campaigning and supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ambition for 2027 general election. In recent months, Wike has found himself in sustained political confrontation with the man he once helped install as governor of Rivers State, Wiki and Fubara. What began as quiet disagreement has now hardened into open hostility following Governor Fubara's political realignment and his decision to distance himself from Wike's controlled structure and align with the All Progressive Congress camp. This fallout did not happen overnight. It is the product of succession politics, party identity crisis, and the limits of political loyalty. For Wike, Fubara's movement to the All Progressive Congress represented a loss of territorial control, a breach of political trust, and a challenge to his enduring relevance in Rivers politics. For Fubara, it was framed as an attempt to govern without overbearing influence, a move toward broader federal alignment with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and a claim to legitimacy beyond political godfatherism. Fubara's alignment with APC's interest placed him directly at odds with Wike, who, despite serving in an APC-led federal government, remains officially outside the party. This contradiction sharpened tensions immediately. Wike wields federal power but lacks APC membership, but Fubara holds state power while seeking APC legitimacy. In effect, both men now draw authority from different power centers, making compromise difficult. On January 5, 2026, Senator Ajibola Bashiru issued what can only be described as a direct institutional warning to Wike, not a hint. It was not a suggestion, it was a direct warning. Bashiru accused Wike of destabilizing APC structure, attacking the office of the National Secretary, and also interfering in party affairs without membership legitimacy. And then came the sentence that escalated everything. In quotes, the honorable thing for him to do is to resign his appointment as the Minister of the FCT. Unquote. That statement matters because it challenges Wike's dual role. It also questions the legitimacy of his influence and draws a boundary between government power and party authority. In Nigerian politics, that boundary is rarely enforced publicly. And with this response, the official battle line has been drawn between Wike and the APC leadership. Wike, in his response, did not issue a written rebuttal. He chose public performance, which is a classical Wike way of doing things. Speaking during a thank you visit in Oyingbo local government area of Rivers State, Wike issued a warning that was political, territorial, and unmistakable. He told Bashiru to stay out of Rivers politics. According to Wike, Rivers is a no-go area, and he also stated that those who interfered had suffered consequences before. Then came the now viral reference to 600 billion allegedly left in Rivers coffers, framing APC figures as opportunists drawn by money rather than governance. This was not a casual rhetoric, it was a territorial assertion. There are three reasons why this exploded publicly. First, authority clash. Bashiru was speaking from constitutional party power. Wike was responding from raw political influence. Secondly, Rivers State symbolism. Rivers State is not just a state, it is a resource-rich, politically volatile state, critical for APC's 2027 election. Number three, APC identity crisis. APC is struggling with who truly belongs and who controls state structures, whether loyalty to Tinubu overrides party discipline. This conflict exposes that unresolved question. Bashiru did not retreat. Instead, he doubled down. Bashiru rejected Rivers State as a no-go area declaration by Nyesom Wike and asserted his national authority. When Bashiru rejected Nyesom Wike's declaration that Rivers State was a no-go area, he was not merely disagreeing with language, he was challenging a claim to political sovereignty in Rivers State. In Nigerian politics, phrases like no-go area are not casual statements. They are symbolic statements, and they imply that political authorities belong to an individual, not institutions. Party structures are subordinate to personal power, and federal or national actors require permission to operate. So Bashiru's rejection was therefore a constitutional pushback. By insisting that his comments and activities as national secretary cannot be confined to any one state, Bashiru reaffirmed a basic principle of party democracy, that no state chapter exists outside the authority of the national party. Accepting Wike's statement, even through silence, would have set a dangerous example that ministers can ring-fence states, that party officials require clearance from non-members of the party, and that federal influence overrides party hierarchy. So Bashiru's refusal closed that door for everyone. Bashiru went further to deny any 600 billion naira inducement narrative shared by Nyesom Wike. He also threatened legal action over blackmail allegations. Now, when Ajibola Bashiru threatened legal action over what he described as blackmail and false allegations, he was doing far more than defending his personal reputation. He was changing the terrain of conflict. In Nigerian politics, dispute accusations are often traded casually. Bashiru's threat followed insinuations that APC leaders were being drawn into Rivers State politics because of an alleged 600 billion war chest, a claim widely interpreted as suggesting financial inducement, corrupt motivation, personal enrichment. By calling this blackmail, Bashiru reframed the allegation as malicious, reputation damaging, and unsupported by evidence. This is critical because once an allegation is labeled blackmail, the burden shifts. The accuser must now prove intent and fact, not just rhetoric. And one of the most striking comments that Bashiru made in his statement was the fact that Wike was not God, in quote, and was overplaying his political card. That sentence was carefully chosen. It reframed Wike not as a kingmaker, but as a temporary power holder in Rivers State. What is happening between Nyesom Wike and Similar Fubara is no longer a Rivers State story in the narrow sense. It has traveled beyond local politics and entered the national space because it touches the core of how power actually works inside Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressive Congress. At first glance, it looks like a familiar godfather versus successor dispute. Nigeria has seen many of those, but this one is different because it is unfolding inside a ruling party ecosystem that is already struggling with internal clarity. The APC is dealing with a situation where influence, office loyalty, and party membership no longer align neatly. And when those things drift apart, conflict becomes inevitable. Wike operates from the position of personal power built over time. His influence is rooted in networks, loyalty, and control of political structures that existed long before his current federal appointment. Fubara, on the other hand, operates from institutional authority. He holds an electoral mandate, he occupies a constitutional office, and increasingly he is positioning himself within APC-aligned power structures that give him legitimacy beyond personal sponsorship. Those two forms of power cannot comfortably coexist without friction. This tension also exposes a contradiction the APC has tried to manage quietly. On one hand, the party benefits from Wike's support of the presidency and his political weight in the South-South. On the other hand, it faces a sitting governor who is asserting autonomy and seeking recognition within party structures. The party is caught between rewarding influence and enforcing its rules, and that indecision weakens authority. The impact is already visible. Rivers State is not just another state. It is strategic, resource-rich, and politically symbolic. So when the ruling party appears divided in such a place, it sends a signal across the region. Party actors begin to question where real power lies. Grassroots loyalty becomes uncertain. The coordination of people in the party weakens as well. Not because people have defected yet, but because confidence has been shaken. The APC National Secretary, speaking for the institutional soul of the ruling All Progressive Congress, is not merely reacting to statements by Nyesom Wike. He is setting boundaries. His words are signals carefully chosen to say power must flow through party structures, not around them. This is about preserving hierarchy, party discipline, and the authority of the ruling coalition. Wike, on the other hand, is not seeking approval. He is asserting his usefulness. In Nigerian power politics, relevance is currency. Wike's public statements, strategic defiance, and calculated ambiguity reminds everyone, especially the APC, that he commands political capital, influence in Rivers State, access to elite networks, and the ability to destabilize or stabilize opposition forces at will. That is what political utility means. What do you make of all these happenings in Rivers politics and the response of the APC National Secretary Bashiru to Wike? Please comment your thoughts in the comment section. This is Impact Media. Thank you for listening.